What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul. This is the Leeds Therapy. Thank you as ever for stopping by. Genuinely, I really do appreciate it. If you could make sure that you're following me on all of my socials, and a little announcement for you as well. I have now signed up to a podcasting service, so you will see my videos coming onto the pods, various ones that you may be connected to, be it Apple, Spotify, Deezer, stuff like that, all of your favourite podcast apps. You will be able to get audio versions of my videos so you can enjoy at your leisure as well. If you want the video version because you want to see this beautiful face, then please feel free, watch the video. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, notifications on, all of that kind of good stuff. I would really, really appreciate it. Right, let's have a conversation about this then. So, I kind of feel like I'm a bit sort of like after the Lord Mayor's show a little bit. What I'm looking at doing is just running through the statistics from the game and just talking about the wider view of what that actually means, and what you can kind of garner from that. And I know that Farker said that we shouldn't overanalyze it, but I think that we have to. I think that potentially Brighton should be a watershed moment for us as a team in terms of the way that we play, the way that we're set up, the way that we look, all of that kind of good stuff. But we will get into that. So I'm going to be going through all of this stuff. I just pulled it all off of FootMob. I just found it interesting because there was bits that I wanted to make. I'm taking it that seriously. I have a pen. Joe would be very, very pleased with me. Very proud of me, Joe. I've got a pen. And I've made notes as well because I think, like I said, it's important to talk about this kind of stuff. But I'm waffling now, so let's get into it. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the overall headline from the actual game itself. So the general top stats of what happened during the match. So you'll look at that and you'll go, well, I wonder how it was 3-3 because, 50-50 possession and it looks like it might have been quite even and et cetera and so forth. You can have, possession means nothing. It's what you do with the ball that actually counts. So when you actually drill down to the stats in a little bit more detail, so further down the line within the game, it shows a completely different picture of what you're looking at. So, for example, like Brighton's XG was 3.07, ours was 0.5. They had 14 shots versus our 5, of which 7 were on target for them, only 2 on target for us. They created 3 big chances. All 3 of their big chances they scored. Every single one of their big chances they scored. Our one big chance that we created, we missed. And again, you can see the passes and everything and such and things like that. The fouls, I'll get into the foul section just in the defensive bit. But even though the stats and the metrics might be even, it is inherently what you do with that ball that counts. And that's down to the way that you play, what you're trying to do, the style that you're trying to play, everything that goes with it. Then when you look at, and I just touched on it, the expected goals side of things. So it's kind of damning figures, really. And again, the possession is 50-50, but Brighton's XG is 3.07, ours is 0.5. The XG in open play for Brighton is 3, ours is 0.4. Set plays don't really count. Non-penalty XG, theirs is obviously 3.07, ours is 0.5. Their XG on target, though, and this is the bit, 4.48 was their XG on target. And their ours was 0.88. So it's just, again, you can have 99% of the possession. The other team can have 20% of the possession. It's what you do with that possession that actually counts. Now, when we get into the shot side of things, it kind of makes stuff a little bit more clearer because you look at it and you think, what's the purpose of a game plan within a game? What's the purpose of what you're trying to achieve within that 90 plus minutes that you're trying to actually play? And it falls down to pretty much 5 things that you want to really be looking at. The first thing is advancing the team. The second thing is creating space. Third thing, creating chances. Fourth thing is scoring goals from them chances. And obviously the fifth thing is win the game. Shots on target is the thing that sticks out to me in all of these stats that are down here, shots on target and also shots inside the box as well. So you've got shots on target being 7 for them and only 2 for us. They had 50% of their shots were on target. And I know you could look at that and go, well, ours is nearly 50%, but they had 14 total shots. Of those, 50% were on target. Of those 7 shots on target, nearly 50% of those then went in. It's this ability to advance the ball. And yes, that's down to the skill of the team. And make no mistake, in terms of level of player that we have, Brighton are a level above what we actually have. But then also at the same time, it's what you do as the team that might not have the most skillful players on show or the most skillful players available is you smack into tackles, you fight, you harry, you press, you do everything that you can do to make sure that you're making it as difficult as is humanly possible for the other team to score. Brighton had conceded the majority of their goals in the first half, so if anything was going to happen, we were going to do it. When you actually look at now the games played from the sort of like the last 5 or 6 games, I think it's 5, our actual results are exactly the same, not in the same order, but are exactly the same as what Brighton's are. So I can't just have that, oh, well, they're a slightly better team than us. Fair enough, then show me some fight. Show me what you want to do. Every single metric on the shots on target, which is what counts, what gets you the goals, we are way behind on, which says that we can't create. We're lacking that little bit of quality in the final third, and we have an issue with defending as well. And I don't know if you've seen it, but Joe did a video on this not so long ago where he discussed what went wrong with all 3 goals, pretty much, and just went into it in a little bit more detail. And this massively speaks to that. Massively speaks to that. How are you letting 8 shots happen inside your box? What's going on with the defensive midfield? What's going on with the defence? How are they managing to break those lines on us, particularly in this game, on such a regular basis, when at the beginning of the season, we were all saying, Jesus, we've got a really good defence. And it's like, well, we want to have. We've spent the majority of our money on this defence. But something has drastically changed over the last few games where we are shipping goals at an alarming rate. And there is a lot of ball watching, not tracking your runners, not tracking your man, not blocking the space, not doing the basics, which leads to things like you see today. In all honesty, Brighton never really had to get out of second gear to beat us. And again, I preface this, Brighton are an established team. They're a very good team. They've got very, very good players. However, you combat the good players by fighting for every single ball. And we did not do that. We just didn't do that on Saturday. Next bit, again, passes. This just... And I'm only putting this up. I'm not going to go through everything in massive detail. But you look at the passes in total, 491 to 486. What this shows me again is statistics pretty much mean nothing. The headline statistics mean nothing. You need to drill down into it a little bit more to get the information that you want to get. Like, for example, we have... what was it? I think just looking on these stats here, we have 22 accurate long balls. Now, you could summarise that we were quite good at kicking long. You could also summarise from that as well that we were under a lot of pressure and we were having to fly it upfield to DCL at every given opportunity because that was the only ball that was open to us. Then the other statistic, 26 touches in the opposition half, in the opposition box, from Brighton versus our 18. And I know, well, yeah, there's only an 8 difference in that. It doesn't matter. It's the pressure there that they're putting on our defence and our midfield to be able to create the chances to score the goals that they are scoring. And then from the defensive side of things, again, this is, for me, where certain things start to kind of not fall apart as such, but just kind of show me kind of where we're at with it. Defence-wise, tackles. Brighton, 24 tackles versus our 12. Now, Was that because we couldn't get on the ball? Was it because Brighton just wanted it more than us? How is that? But then when you move down and drill into the stats a little bit more, it becomes a bit more of a damning indictment of the way that the game actually panned out and how poor we were as a team. And that is, we did 6 interceptions, 2 blocks, 19 clearances. 19 clearances. That number itself, great defending, but we should not be doing 19 clearances in the game. We just shouldn't, in my humble opinion. Yes, I know that Brighton's a 14, but it's lower than ours. Ergo, the possession side of things, again, it doesn't matter. What are you doing with the ball when you've got it? And clearly, we weren't doing enough. And to mention the keeper saves as well for Perry, because I know Perry came in for a lot of stick, and I just wanted to highlight this. Perry, you'll see in a second why I'm highlighting this, but Perry making 4 saves on Saturday. Had it not been for Perry, it would have been 6-0. It would have been 6-0. Absolutely. Just wanted to, point that out there a little bit and just to put it in there for a little bit of, yes, I'm annoyed at the players, but it also just gives a bit of context at the same time as well. This is the other part that's really important, which is the momentum and the goals that are scored. See it on screen, but I'll explain it at the same time as well, because it makes a perfect amount of sense. When you look at the momentum graph, you can see, with the 50-50 possession, and again, this is the drilling down into the statistics, and you look at it, what the momentum shows you is the penetration that the team have into the opposing team's half and how long they sustained that for and how far forward they were. And you look at the goals that they scored, that's when the momentum graph was peaking in terms of their advancement into our half. That's when they scored their goals. There's the one little blip for the second goal, but we'd made some substitutions by that point, which were all a little bit weird. And 4 minutes later, it just goes. At no time, bar kind of like halfway through the first half, if you like, did we have any serious, deep penetration, and I'm sorry for using that word, advancement. I'll use the word advancement. Deep advancement into Brighton's half. There was just none. And for the rest of the game, we were toiling. And what this tells me is that we were keeping the ball and passing it around at the back. It also tells me that Brighton was sat on us from the very, very start, and we couldn't find a way out in the 4-3-3 formation. And then when you look at it from the goals point of view, so every single goal that was scored was literally scored within 5 to 6 feet of each other. Genuinely within 5 to 6 feet of each other. They were all the exact same type of goal. Every single one. Obviously done the homework, but obviously as well, people aren't fighting enough to get back. People aren't watching the man properly. People are watching the ball too much. They're just not setting themselves to where they need to be. Is it a confidence thing? Is it a training issue? Is it something that a system change might work into? Who knows? But that makes for absolutely horrific reading when you do look at it. And I think the thing that I find annoying as well is that I understand, and listen, I don't expect us to go out and win every game. But when we don't play very well, and then when you look at the underlying points within a game that we're getting battered, it just doesn't sit right with me at all. And I think I've got every right to be able to go, it's not good enough. You can accept a loss. I can't accept people not trying, poor performances, passengers, people ball watching, people not doing their jobs correctly. Shout out to Stack as well, because when he came on, he got a 7 rating on FootMob, so he actually didn't do too bad when he came on. It's just an infuriating state of play, and the reason why I pointed out Perry is for the next little graphic, and again, for people that might be listening, I'll read this one out. Of the 11 players in the top 11, 10 of them are Brighton players. Pretty much 6 of the 10 are either high 7s or above. We have one player in that, which is Lucas Perry, and he is on the 7.3. And the other thing that I wanted to point out is those 10 outfield players that are on there, I'm just going to read out the length of times that each of them played. Gomez played 81 minutes. Verbruggen played 90. Weaver played 90. Minte played 88. Van Hecker played 90. Welbeck played 81. Lewis Dunk played 90. Kadi Oglu played 90. Ayari played 89. And Balba, played 90. Fit, organised, know what they're supposed to be doing. And it's a point that Joe and I have made constantly, which is this game is so much easier when you have the ball. And when you don't have the ball, it's so much harder. It's so much harder to try and garner any form of control over the game whatsoever at all. And then finally, because I think we need to put it on just for safety's sake, when you look at the Leeds United points that were given throughout the team, as I said, you've got Perry with a 7.3, Bogle, worst game ever for us, 4.2, Rodon 5.8, Biol 5.7, Goodmanson gets a 6.3, Longstaff got a 6.2, Ampadu was appalling, 5.9, Tanaka made a few mistakes, but what's he going to do? 6.5. You've got Aronson, and this is Aronson in a nutshell. Kind of plays out of his skin against West Ham, and then is back to being the absolutely anemic child that he is with a 5.7. Calvert-Lewin, again, plowing a low furrow, and the rumour is that he's injured now, which is top. That's really, really good stuff. And Okafor is, if we stay up, a lot of it will be because of Okafor, in my opinion. He's the only one. He had the beating of his man every single time, and we didn't use it to our advantage. But then again, we couldn't, advance the ball enough for as what I would want the ball to be advanced. And it's looking at this, what do we do to kind of move this forwards? What are the things that we need to do? I came back on the Farker ladder. I've gone back up again in terms of where I'm at on the Farker being really annoyed with him statistic. So I'm not calling for Farker's head, but what I am saying is that he needs to do something different. We did kind of go to a 4-2-3-1 halfway through the half, but that substitution of keeping Aronson on just made no sense whatsoever. It just made none. If you're going to do that, put Pirro on. You might as well. We're down at that point. We need some creative spark. Put him on. What have you got to lose? Just put him on. This, for me, is screaming now for the 3-5-2. He won't play that formation. We know he won't play that formation. And it's a difficult one because you want to just grab him and just give it a go. Just see what you can do. Biol knows how to play in it. Rodon knows how to play in it. You've got Stroik that can come in and learn how to play in it pretty quickly. Perry's used to playing in that type of formation as well. You can then have the wing-backs in, so Bogle and Goodmanson, left and right-hand side. You can then have your strong midfield three that you want. You can maybe switch it up a little bit and bring different players in. And then, for me, you have, if it's Calvert-Lewin's not fit, it's Nemecha. You have Nemecha with Pirro playing off of him. That's what I would play. That's what I would do. That would be my suggestion. But I need to see more fight. I need to see more desire. I need to see more guile. I need to see more willingness. I need to see 150 million% more than what I saw down at Brighton. Because from what I saw players that kind of, some of them looked like they'd rather be anywhere else than here. And I'm sorry, but I'm not accepting this. Oh, well, we're Leeds United and, they're going to be a top half team. It's okay. We are where we are. There's no need to get... I can get annoyed if I can see that the team that is out, that is good enough to play better than this, who have proved it against Everton, Newcastle, and other teams, putting in a performance like that isn't acceptable. It just isn't acceptable, and they need to do better. They earned the right to be in this league, regardless of the recruitment and what you're saying about that. I don't even want to talk about the recruitment side of stuff. However, with that being said, these guys need to start doing more. Farker needs to start changing something up. Don't know what that is. It's why I'm not paid £3 million a year. I wanted to give my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you've enjoyed the video, subscribe, like, notifications on. Take care of each other. Most importantly, take care of yourself. Glad I've got that off my chest. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Cheers.